Imagine a rocket so big and powerful, it could change the way we think about space travel forever. That's exactly what SpaceX's Starship is doing. This enormous spacecraft, standing taller than a 39-story building, isn't just impressive to look at, it's revolutionizing our journey beyond Earth. With its ability to carry massive payloads and potentially slash the cost of reaching orbit, Starship is turning science fiction dreams into reality. From making space tourism more accessible to enabling human settlements on other planets, this groundbreaking rocket is paving the way for humanity's next great adventure among the stars. Let's explore how Starship is reshaping our cosmic future. A new giant in the sky. SpaceX's Starship is a really big deal in the world of rockets. It's super tall, over 390 feet high. That's about as tall as a 39-story building. It's also pretty wide, measuring nearly 30 feet across. But what's really cool is how much it can carry. Starship can lift up to 165 tons into space, and that's like carrying 33 big elephants. Starship has two main parts. The bottom part is called Super Heavy. It's the booster that helps Starship get off the ground, and Super Heavy has 33 special engines called Raptor engines. These engines use a mix of liquid methane and liquid oxygen to create a huge amount of power. The top part is also called Starship. This is the part that actually goes into space, and it's designed to carry people, satellites, or cargo to places like the Moon or Mars. What makes Starship really special is that both parts, Super Heavy and Starship, are meant to be used over and over again. Most rockets are only used once and then thrown away, but Starship is different. After a flight, both parts can land back on Earth safely, and this is a big deal because it can make space travel much cheaper. Starship can do lots of different jobs. It can take astronauts to space, deliver cargo, refuel in space, and even work as part of a space station. This flexibility makes it really useful for all sorts of space missions. Test flights and progress. Building something as complex as Starship isn't easy. SpaceX has been working hard to get it right, running lots of tests to make sure everything works properly. On March 14, 2024, SpaceX had its third big test flight for Starship. Even though the rocket didn't make it all the way through the test, it still did a lot of important things. For the first time, all 33 engines on the Super Heavy booster worked together to lift Starship off the ground. The rocket also managed to separate its two parts successfully, which is another big achievement. During this test, Starship showed it could turn some of its engines on and off while in flight. It also opened and closed the doors where cargo would go, and these might seem like small things, but they're really important for making sure Starship can do its job in space. SpaceX learns something new from each test, even when things don't go perfectly. This helps them make Starship better and better, and they're planning to do at least 6 more test flights in 2024, as long as they get permission from the government. The big goal for Starship is to be able to land safely back on Earth after going to space. This is really important because Starship will need to land on other places too, like the Moon and Mars. Let's take a quick look at the space and moon-themed items from GUI Gestures before we go on with the video. If you really like space, you can find some great stuff here to show off your interest in the cosmos. The link is in the description below. Take a look at these cool space accessories. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Making space travel cheaper. One of the coolest things about Starship is how it could make going to space much cheaper. Right now, space launches cost hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's because most rockets can only be used once. Starship is different because it can be used many times. SpaceX wants Starship to be ready for its next flight in just hours or days, not months or years like current rockets. This could make launching things into space much less expensive. Cheaper launches could change a lot of things. We could send more satellites into space for things like internet or watching the weather, and space tourism might become something more people can afford. It could also make it easier to do more science in space, or even start building places for people to live on the Moon or Mars. The impact of cheaper space travel goes beyond just space stuff. It could lead to new inventions and technologies that make life better here on Earth too. Of course, making all this happen is really hard. SpaceX still needs to show that they can land Starship safely and get it ready to fly again quickly. The next few years will be really important in proving if this big idea can really work. Moon and beyond. Starship isn't just for SpaceX, it's also going to help NASA with some big plans. NASA wants to send people back to the moon with a program called Artemis. Starship is going to play a big part in this. In 2021, NASA chose Starship to be the vehicle that will land astronauts on the moon, and this is a really important job. Starship will carry astronauts from orbit around the moon down to the moon's surface and then back up again. NASA picked Starship because it can carry a lot of stuff. This is great for taking not just astronauts to the moon, but also all the equipment they'll need to stay there for a while. Starship is big enough inside to give astronauts plenty of room to live and work during their trip. But Starship isn't just about the moon. SpaceX and NASA are also thinking about using it to go to Mars. Starship is designed to be able to make long trips through space. It can be refueled while in orbit, which is really helpful for long journeys. Elon Musk, the founder of SpaceX, has big dreams about using Starship to build a city on Mars someday. While that might sound like science fiction, it's the kind of big thinking that pushes space exploration forward. Starship could even help us explore other parts of our solar system. It could carry big, complex scientific instruments to study distant planets and moons, and this could teach us a lot about our cosmic neighborhood. By working on Starship, SpaceX is also helping to develop new technologies that we'll need for long space trips. Things like systems to keep people alive in space for a long time, or ways to protect astronauts from space radiation are all part of making Starship work. The future of space travel. Starship isn't just changing how we get to space. It's changing how we think about space altogether. Let's look at some of the exciting possibilities Starship might open up. First, there's space tourism. Right now, only a few very rich people have been able to go to space. But if Starship can make space travel cheaper, more people might get the chance to see Earth from space. We might even see hotels in orbit or on the moon someday. Starship could also help us build permanent places for people to live beyond Earth, and whether it's on the moon, Mars, or even in big space stations, Starship's ability to carry lots of cargo could help build and supply these off-world homes. This could be the start of humans living on other worlds, something we have dreamed about for a long time. For scientists, Starship opens up new possibilities too. We could launch bigger and better space telescopes, helping us learn more about the universe. We might be able to send more advanced robots to explore distant planets and moons, and some missions might even be able to bring samples back from far-off places in our solar system. Starship could also change how we do business in space. It might make it possible to make things in space that we can't make on Earth. Some people even talk about mining asteroids for valuable materials, and these could be whole new industries that don't yet exist. All the work in Starship is also pushing technology forward in other ways. The challenges of building such an advanced spacecraft are leading to new inventions and discoveries, and these could end up being used for all sorts of things, not just space travel. And in the end, Starship represents more than just a new kind of rocket. It's about expanding what's possible for humanity. It's about making space a place we can reach more easily, explore more thoroughly, and maybe even call home someday. There are still many challenges to overcome before all these exciting possibilities become reality. But with each test flight and each new achievement, Starship brings us one step closer to a future where space is not just a distant frontier, but a regular part of human life. As we watch Starship develop, we're not just seeing a new spacecraft being built, we're watching the potential start of a new era in space exploration. It's an exciting time, full of possibilities. Who knows, maybe someday, thanks to Starship, you might find yourself looking back at Earth from the surface of the moon or Mars. Thanks for watching today's video. If you're as excited about the future of space travel as we are, be sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more out-of-this-world content.